Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
Story number 1. Watch this. Sack Ablakwa now. That is the news all over Ghana right now. All the major headlines in Ghana's news reel is sack Ablakwa right now. Now, who wants Ablakwa to be sacked? And for what reason? Does the reason make any sense? We will answer all these questions. But in the interim, who is Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa? Now, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa is the man whose photograph you see here. He has been a deputy minister of education before. He's worked around the Ministry of Information before. And right now, as John Dramani Mahama has been called to duty one more time, he is the foreign minister of Ghana. So far, many people have said that he has done very, very well. He's one of the experienced young men in our political arena in Ghana today. Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. His fans and admirers are looking forward to the day that he will contest for the presidency of the nation. Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Now, since Ablakwa came into power as the foreign minister, he also served as the head of Oral, Operation Recover All Loot. He was one of the pivots of Oral, and they did a good job doing their research and presenting the findings for action by the Attorney General. All we need right now is smoothing up the rough edges and things will be done. This is Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. While in opposition, he was a thorn in the flesh of the NPP. Anywhere the president then, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo went, he had his lenses following him like the CIA. Every flight that he took, he got the numbers and found out how much it cost the poor taxpayer of Ghana to get the president fly so luxuriously. In fact, he was the most hated person in opposition in the books of the NPP. His party came into power, and many people expected that the energy that he exuded whilst in opposition would even increase now that he's in power. Has he succeeded? Come here. Watch this. Now, Okudzeto Ablakwa is here. Now, when he came into power, he had some beautiful pieces of brilliance shining in almost every corner. What did he do? We all remember when he took the Israeli people on. The disrespectful behavior they meted out to Ghanaians in Israel. Arriving at the Tel Aviv airport, my brother, my sister, we all remember how this man here called Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa stood by Ghana and made sure that we had justice for our citizens. We remember Latvia, where a Ghanaian student was allegedly murdered in cold blood. He told the whole Ghana that he was there. In fact, we saw the Ministry of Foreign Affairs come into full energy when Ablakwa came into office. His bald head shining more brilliantly than the morning sun. This is Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, a man I personally admire. Can I tell you more? Now, there was a time a senator from America told Ghana, you Ghanaians, you owe America so much money. You owe American businesses so much money. Yet you are spending so much money prioritizing your debts from China and paying the Chinese and leaving out the Americans. What kind of people are you? And Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa took this senator on. Watch this. We owe you nothing. Ghana's foreign minister blasts senator in heated row. And this is what he wrote. He put it out and everybody saw it. And this was what was reported by the Guardian Nigeria. Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, has delivered a blistering response to U.S. Senator Jim Risch, who criticized Ghana over unpaid debts to American companies and taxpayers. Risch, in a post on July 4, implied that Ablakwa should remain in Accra rather than traveling to Washington, accusing Ghana of prioritizing Chinese debts while relying on U.S. support. Dash it away. So he told Ablakwa, you are gallivanting around Washington, saying this is not working, that is not working, that is not working. Whose money are you flying on? Is it the American taxpayers' money? Because you Ghanaians are still dependent on America for support. Sit your back right there in Ghana and deal with the dirt. Pay the debt that you owe America and stop prioritizing China. Ablakwa got angry and fired back. What was Ablakwa doing in Washington? He went all the way to Washington and he realized that some things were not working in there at the Ghana embassy. He decided to sack some people right there at the Ghana embassy in Washington, D.C. My brother, my sister, and it was all over in the news. Captured on newscasts and beyond, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa sacked some people there. He was all over in the news. Spread them, put them out. News all over the place, bits and pieces. Everybody was talking about Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. He went to Washington. He struck the people in Washington. He made sure that he closed the Ghana embassy right there in Washington, just to be sure that things would work. Many were those who said that he was overdoing things. Then America decided to come home and say, you know what? We have some people we don't want in America. We want to deport them, but we want to bring them to Ghana. We will pay you so you can take care of the people in Ghana. This is not the first time that thing happened. You remember Gitmo, the people who were brought in, deportees from America, they were brought here in the days of John Dramani Mahama. And we accepted them in Ghana. Many Ghanaians were so angry about that. But when they were educated, it came to light that everything was okay. Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. He has been in the news since he came into power. And watch this. Ghana has not agreed to accept any El Salvador prisoner from America. And remember, we covered this story. This was a guy who was said to be a gangster, and he actually belonged to a certain gang in his home country. He went to America, got married to an American, and issues came around, and they were deporting him, allegedly to Ghana. Okudzeto said no. The Americans chose Ghana because of the peace we have here. Our economy is burgeoning, becoming bigger and better. My brother, my sister, with all these things that Ablakwa did, standing toe to toe with the powers that be, telling them that you don't teach us what to do. We are a sovereign nation and we'll do what we want. Remember when the Israeli ambassador was not happy about Ghana's direction of vote when it came to Palestine? Ablakwa hit again. We are a sovereign nation. You don't teach us what to do. We are independent. My brother, my sister, he gained the admiration of so many Pan-Africanists all over the world, but not in Ghana, amongst the minority in government. My brother, my sister, the minority is not happy with Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Come here. Watch this. From my Joy Online, they slapped him hard. They want him sacked. U.S. visa freeze. Minority demands Ablakwa sacking over diplomatic failures. And that's today. Published at 15 minutes past midday. Run the story, my youth, and watch it. Now, the Minority Caucus has called for the immediate removal of Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, accusing him of repeated diplomatic missteps that have left Ghana exposed internationally, particularly over the recent U.S. visa policy affecting Ghanaian citizens. Run it, man. Now, the statement was delivered at a press conference on Tuesday, today, January 20, 2026, by Nana Asafo Ajay Aye. Ghana has always been a model of stability and reliability abroad, he said. Under the minister, that reputation is collapsing. We are now listed as a migration risk by the United States and facing diplomatic setbacks with Israel and Europe. All preventable. Now, the minority's criticism comes amid a major shift in U.S. immigration policy. In January 2026, the U.S. State Department announced it will pause immigrant visa processing for nationals of 75 countries, including Ghana, from January 21, that's from tomorrow, 2026, indefinitely, citing concerns that applicants are likely to become dependent on public benefits and require further review of screening procedures. Dash it away. My brother, my sister, yesterday we took time and went into the real reason America has decided to include Ghana in the immigrant visa ban. And we gave you a number of reasons. My brother, my sister, you may call that conspiracy theory. But when it comes to reality, this is the home of reality. Is Okudzeto Ablakwa wrong? Certainly not. We have to call the bluff of all these guys who have maltreated us, ruled us, abused and refused us all these years. Are you not tired of being a stepchild of America? Are you not tired of being a stepchild of the West? You don't want a strong man who is rooted in Pan-Africanism to stand up against all these so-called superpowers. In fact, Okudzeto Ablakwa said it, and it came out clearly. What did he say? He said, not in Nkrumah's Ghana. Not in Nkrumah's Ghana. This will not happen. He told us point blank. This is Nkrumah's Ghana. This is the beacon of Pan-Africanism. An American senator, for crying out loud, cannot look into another sovereign country, Ghana, and tell us how to rule our country. Same way we don't tell Trump to do what we expect him to do. But they are right in a way. We are still falling on them for support. If Ablakwa decides that, you know what, enough of the support, enough of the insults, we believe that a man who feeds you controls you. For that matter, we don't want that control anymore. We have begun to feed ourselves. And John Dramani Mahama has proven that. Since he came into power, how much aid has he asked for? How much aid has he refused? He's rather servicing debts and building our motherland. He's a strong Pan-Africanist. And he is telling us to stand by our words as African people. Now the minority wants Ablakwa out. What a cheap, dirty minority in parliament. This shameless bunch of crooks. My brother, my sister, do not cease to excite me. These were the guys who broke the legs of tables and chairs in the parliament house. They broke microphones. My brother, my sister, they did not see that as embarrassing enough to have America and England say, hey, these hooligans, we do not want them in our country. If a country of over how many millions of people will choose these crooks and hooligans as They are members of parliament. We will not allow them into our country. America sat down and watched how an MP picked up ballot papers and chewed that like a pregnant crocodile on heat. That was not embarrassing enough to have America take this decision. A certain dirty party was in power for 8 solid years and robbed the people of Ghana dry. We saw how a woman could load so much hard currency from the yen all the way down to the dollar under her bed. And when maidservants were stealing the money in tens of thousands of dollars, she never knew because they were hipped. And what did the president say? Oh, she will be exonerated. She is not a bad woman. Is that not enough to let America say, no, these guys are not serious. We don't want them in our country? Above all, we saw how we machinatedly destroyed our own country with Galamsey. Wuntumi and his boys, Nimiri Forest, we still remember like yesterday how they polluted our water body and we drank mercury-infested water. Hallelujah. Is that not enough for Trump to call us shitholes and not want to see shitholers in his America? Can I say more? Above all, a nation that has gold and diamond, we sat down and watched a Lilliputian with no common sense, with his vice president with very little sense, employ a certain dirty guy called Kenoforiata, and he ran down the nation dry. We had to run to the same people, the IMF, and beg for $3 billion American dollars so that our nation will continue to be called a nation. At a point, 3 billion was enough to buy the whole of Ghana. 3 billion American dollars. And we're told, if we didn't get the 3 billion, our economy will crash. And that our nation will fail. Come here! You think we are joking? Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and all his bunch of idiots in power. My brother, my sister. At a point, Ghana was only worth 3 billion, or else it would be a failed state. Hallelujah. Before that, they gave us a dirty thing called e-levy. And that if we did not allow them to push that bitter pill down our throats, our economy would crash. We all started to shiver. We had pokpok bli bli all over the place. And what happened? We allowed them to do that. They ran to the IMF and the World Bank. They sent us their representatives, the sovereign nation that we claim we are. They sat in our offices right here in Ghana and controlled every movement. Even if ants had to move, they needed to seek permission from the IMF to do so. They brought their military right here on our soil because Nana Addo went to them telling them that Burkina Faso was a threat to us, like the house nigger that he is. America quickly decided that, you know what? We need a military base there. How do you call yourself a sovereign nation? Mahama has come here trying to clean up the dirty mess, the 8-year-old mess that the Addo Dankwas and the mafias put together. Ablakwa is standing up to the people and telling them that, you know what, hey, Israel, be careful. We know you have all the bombs. We know that you are cold-blooded. You are poikilothermic people. We are begging you, respect us. That's what Ablakwa said. America came in with a dirty finger. Ablakwa chopped it off. The senator went back with bloody fingers. He told him, be careful. Think twice and wisely. Now, I mean, today, minority says, because Ablakwa stood up to the people, America has decided to take us out of the immigrant visa, whatever. What a shame. So America all of a sudden has become the yardstick for good morals. If America was a country disorganized, all it says is, oh, this is a bad country. We won't give you visas. And we, like the animals that we are, we will clamor and accept this nonsense. Jesus, I never knew this day would come. America is rich. He has the highest per capita income in nominal terms. 98,000 American dollars. My brother, my sister. But money is not everything. Good morals are also there. The environment is also part of it. There are some things we cannot quantify monetary wise. And those things, we have them here. To someone Okudzeto Ablakwa, this noise will not make Mahama say go. They sat down and saw Cecilia Dapa do everything that she did. Wontumi became the Galamsey Lord of the nation. We still remember Kwabena Edubuahene. We haven't forgotten Dr. Sledge. We haven't forgotten how the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo regime built Sakawa boys up. Today the FBI is busy in this country trying to sweep away the Sakawa boys and girls. And you blame this guy? Shame on you, minority in parliament. Shame. If this were kindergarten, shame, shame. You don't have a scintilla of Pan-Africanism in your coconuts. You are a disgrace to the Parliament of Ghana. A disgrace to Pan-Africanism. Instead of standing by Ablakwa to tell America that, hey, we are a sovereign nation. To call the bluff of America. Call the bluff of all those nations. Because of a visa, you are kicking out one of your own. For what crime? Dirty guys. I'm so dirty angry. They say give a dog a bad name and hang it. Or is it a cat? Whatever it is, whether it is a cat or a dog. That is what America is doing. America knows that once it says, oh, we've pulled back our visas for this country, some kangaroos would start clamoring around that propaganda and they will mess up their country. We've seen you long before you started striking. Shame on you, micro minority in parliament. A disintegrated party that will never unite. A party of selfish people. A party whose own members call it fake. Fake NPP. Shame on you. And to Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, hey, this should make you stronger. Mahama will never think about taking you away because you have the spirit of Pan-Africanism. Diplomacy. Listen, diplomacy is not slavery. Somebody quote me. I said diplomacy is not what? Slavery. To be a diplomat is not to go and say, Allah, 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 everything they say, yes. Everything they say, yes. Diplomacy is not yes-manism. Can I repeat that word? Diplomacy is not yes-manism. Somebody write it down for me. Diplomacy is not yes-manism. Diplomacy is working towards insisting on our sovereignty. Hallelujah. It's the black pot, aka Kukushonemo, where we speak truth to power. When we return, we got more. Hey, yeah. Hey, yo. Wayo.
Blackpot.
It's the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo. And here we speak truth to power. Here we don't criticize. Again, here we are not neutral. This is the headquarters of the truth. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please do me a favor. Be part of it and share the broadcast. Story number 2. Watch this. Hey, only NPP guys insult me with my Parkinson's disease. Franklin Kujo laments. In our country, party politics is enough to make us behave like animals. I have seen marriages break apart, all because husband belonged to one party and wife belonged to the other party. I have seen people pull out guns, kill each other because of a political argument. I have seen how party politics has destroyed the very fiber of our country. There are 2 things killing us as Ghanaians: politics and religion, and they are twins. In Ghana and many other African countries, if you don't belong to my religion, you are almost like my enemy. True or false? Many people will refuse you marriage because you don't belong to their religion. Many people would even refuse to do business with you because you don't belong to their religion. And above all, many people would even hate you because you don't belong to their religion. That is why we have people bombing planes, because they want to force their religion on you. And you say, no, it's a free world. I have my own mind. Then you must die. What a rhetoric. What a discourse. It's the same thing with politics in this country. Hi! Politics is the only thing in my country that defies religion. I see Muslims from NDC, Muslims from NPP meet and fight and kill each other, all in the name of party politics. NPP and NDC, they all of a sudden forget that they are Muslims. I have seen people fight each other. They are from the same ethnic group, same destiny, yet because of differences in political leanings, they pull the trigger at each other and silence each other cold, ready for very shallow graves. Hallelujah. My brother, my sister, there's this guy called
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.